A pregnant woman is lying on the bed with a big belly and is about to sleep. Suddenly, the vibration of the cup next to her caused her to faint. Before the woman could react, the whole building began to shake violently. This is obviously a sign of an earthquake. The woman, who realized something was wrong, rushed towards the escape route, but because there were too many residents, she couldn't squeeze through at all. In addition, there were constantly broken stones on her head. The pregnant woman was finally crushed alive under the ruins. At the same time, the husband who just got off work saw that there were constantly survivors. He ran out of the ruins, but he didn't find his wife's voice. So he ran straight into the ruins, regardless of the danger. After a long search, he found that his wife was dead under a rock. Her breathing became very weak. With the help of rescuers, he sent his wife to a local hospital. But because the injury was too serious, the doctor said that the woman and the baby in her belly could only be saved. He had to make a decision. After a long struggle, the man finally chose his wife. But as expected, when the doctor returned to the operating room, the woman was no longer breathing. But the baby in her belly survived. 12 years later, the man took his daughter to Alatia in another city. He didn't marry again, but chose to raise his daughter alone. On this day, Vector drove Angela to a nearby school as usual. But he didn't expect an accident to happen at night. The school said that after school, Angela and another female classmate got into the woods behind the mountain and lost contact. They had already called the police. Unconsciously, Vector hurried to join the parents of another girl to look for her day and night in the back of the mountain. But after 3 days, he didn't get any clues. He only found a few unlit candles on the ground. What Vector didn't expect was that 3 days later, the police suddenly found his daughter Angela. But the strange thing is that the other party was as blind as a demon's body. And as if he had lost his memory, he didn't know what happened these 3 days. He only felt a few hours had passed. At first, Vector didn't care. He just thought his daughter might have been frightened. So he and the parents of another girl decided to take the children out of the hospital and take them home to rest. On the first night, back home, Vector found that Angela seemed to be something wrong. When he came to the bed to deliver breakfast, he smelled a smell of urine. He sniffed. Unexpectedly, his daughter peed on the bed last night. When he woke up the asleep Angela, he didn't know anything. The next night, Angela suddenly covered Vector's head with a scarf and fell hard on the ground. Then she was shaking all over, and her mouth was covered with dirt. At the same time, the girl who went missing with him, Xiaomei, also became strange. Every weekend, her parents would come to the church to listen to the priest's sermon. But, unexpectedly, Xiaomei suddenly turned in the direction of the priest like a demon's body. She kept talking about her body and blood in her mouth. The parents, who noticed something was wrong, hurried to control Xiaomei and sent her to the hospital. Unexpectedly, they happened to run into Vector here. The same strange thing happened to the 2 girls. This made them have to believe in the possibility of a demon's body. Back home, Vector searched the internet for a lot of news about the Exorcist. From the video, he met an exorcist named Chris. His daughter was also possessed by a demon. It was he who drove the demon away. So Vector decided to visit Chris in person and hope he could help himself. Unexpectedly, Chris agreed to the request quickly. Following Vector to the hospital, Chris saw Angela's first sight and judged that her body was 100% possessed by a demon. But because she was locked in the hospital, she couldn't perform the exorcism. So Vector took Chris to another girl, Xiaomei's house. Unexpectedly, the first time they met, the demon in the girl's body called out Chris's name. It turned out that he was the demon in Chris's daughter's body. At that time, he was subdued by Chris once. This time, he won't die so easily.